Okay, so we are going to move on with the next step. And for these purposes, just imagine that we have populated our space with lots of buildings. I'm trying to kind of skip a few steps so that I can get all these different techniques into videos. So just bear with me here. But there are a couple of things I want to do here. First, I want to add a cross street, like an intersection. And no, wait, I'm lying. I have it mixed up. So we want to go ahead and section our sidewalk first, actually. I like to do that first. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to measure the width of my sidewalk. So my sidewalk here is 1.5 inches. So I want to find the halfway point. So 1.5 divided by 2 would be 3/4. So my halfway point is going to be at 3/4 of an inch. That's the second longest line between the 0 and the 1. There's 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. We'll mark it there. And then I'm going to come along here. And remember, I measure my sidewalks out. Oh, wait. No, I don't even need to do anything here. Because I really only need to measure on one side. I'm sorry, I'm all discombobulated today. Because I am still getting over being kind of sick. So, bear with me. So I'm going to make a line, a very faint line. So I'm going to be erasing all of it later. So I don't want it to be dark. So that line's going to go from this little tick mark that I made at the 3/4 inch mark over to my vanishing point. That's where all of our lines go, right? There. So it is going right down the middle of my sidewalk. And then I'm going to go ahead and start sectioning off areas of this sidewalk. And let's see. I'm making my first one the width of my ruler because I'm incredibly lazy and it seems easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And there we go. We have our first little sections of the sidewalk. And the next, I want to have these sections done so that they appear that each one is the same size. But of course, they'll be gradually getting smaller as they get farther away from me. So how can I make them look as if they are shrinking at an even rate, like they're shrinking at the same rate as everything else around them? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a method. It's actually very similar to what we did here for these little side windows, if you watched that video. But if you didn't, I'm going to explain it here. Oh, wait. Oh, I have a slightly damp watercolor palette. I bet that's where my purple fingerprint is from. It's bothering me. Okay, so I'm going to make a line from this bottom left corner of this tile, and I'm going to cross this point right here. This is where that center line crosses the top of my tile. So I'm going from the bottom of the tile to that top middle. And then I'm actually going to keep my line going until I get all the way across there, like that. And where it touches over here, that's the end of the next tile. So I'm just going to use my ruler, and I'm going to draw a line here. Oh, wait. That's ever so slightly off. Hang on. Okay, there. And here. I don't need to do this twice because, I'm already measuring it once. I'm just going to make sure this side is even with this side, and so I don't have to do this whole process twice. Now I would come in and erase away all of these coordination lines. So there, I've got it. And so I'm just going to keep doing this process. I'm going to draw a line from the bottom left corner through that top middle, where that middle line crosses the top of my tile, like this. And again, I don't want to do any of this really, really dark because I'm going to be erasing a lot of these lines. So I want to keep it all pretty light. And this is really a good habit to be in anytime you're doing perspective. You want all your lines to be really light because there is so much erasing that is involved. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this all even and talk at the same time. And I apparently cannot do that. There we go. And we just keep doing this. And really, once you get comfortable with it, like I usually kind of line up these points, make sure they're all lined up right. And I just kind of do that. So I can kind of cut a little bit of that. Rip out of it. Ooh. Okay, this is not right. I think I didn't have something lined up correctly. So sometimes it helps to just kind of step back and say, like, okay, does this look right? Okay. And that, yeah, I had accidentally lined my ruler up all crooked. So now I've got it fixed. So I'm just going to keep going through here and repeating that process. I'm just going from the bottom left, bottom left to the top middle. Now, one thing I want to note that we do not want to do here is we do not want to do that thing sometimes people will do where they have, where's something I can use for an example? Here. Okay, here we go. So we do not want a situation where people pretend this is a good perspective, okay? Okay, we don't want to go like this. We don't want to do this. And this is one of those things I see people do all the time. This is bad. Do not do this. And what is happening here is you're kind of taking your sidewalk that should look flat and it looks like you have it up like this. Like you're looking at it and it's like a ramp or something. Um, because if the sidewalk is flat, we're going to have these horizontal lines. Um, so even if you don't measure everything out, even if you just eyeball it, because you don't want to mess with all this, whatever, but please use horizontal lines. Okay, and so for the rest of this, you could even just kind of, you know, do something like that. Because we're going to see less and less detail as it gets farther away anyway, right? So I can go back in and clean all these up later. Kind of go over the lines we want to keep. And then our next thing, I want to add a little bit of dimension to my sidewalk. So I'm going to break out my ruler again. And I'm just going to measure, I think, an eighth of an inch. And an eighth of an inch is that second little line that you see next to the zero. That's 1/8 of an inch. So I'm measuring it from this side, and then I'm measuring it from this side. And from this side, I'm going to count back from the 12. So it'll be the second to last little line before that 12. Really, it doesn't have to be an eighth of an inch. It could be any measurement. You just want to make sure it's the same on both sides because you want them to match. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line like that. We'll draw a line like this. And this is what this is doing is we are going to make sure that our sidewalk will stand up a little bit off of the street. So we're giving it a little bit of dimension, make it look a little bit higher. And so next, I'm going to come and anywhere there is a horizontal line here, I'm going to make a little vertical line in that tiny little edge that we just made. And then I'll do the same on my right side as well. Again, having those horizontal lines and then vertical lines, that really reinforces that this is set higher than the street. And it helps to create that illusion of depth. And that is really our goal in all of this, isn't it? We want to help, everything that we're doing is going to help create that illusion of depth. So next, I'm going to put in a cross street back here behind this building. So I want to take my ruler and I'm going to add a horizontal line right here. I'm going to, oh, wait. There. So if you didn't catch that, what I did was I kind of went along two of these two of these little pavers. So they are going to be the pavers that are on the corner of this intersection. And I can add another line on the other edge of on the other side of those pavers. So I'm just going to line it up and there and there. So I can erase this. I don't really need that. So what we've got here is this is our corner, this is our other corner, and then we're going to make our other edge. Oh, this is that. Okay. So I'm going to make my streets think yay wide. Sure. So I'm just making my line here. And then I'm going to go up to the next little space, like paver. And do that. So that is going to be the sidewalk on the other side. So I can come through and erase these lines and erase this bit of sidewalk that now is in the middle of the street. Like that. And I'm going to go ahead and reinforce that. Is here. So I am going to go ahead and also make another line after making sure my pencil is really sharp for this because I want a teeny tiny fine little line. So I'm going to add a line just below this one, and it's going to be the same as those lines I just added. It's going to kind of make my sidewalk stand off the street just the teeniest bit. Okay. And then, of course, you can separate this all out. If you want, I may go ahead and keep filling my space just because there's no point in like making all these very intricate little itty bitty lines all along here. I'm just going to cover it up anyway by sticking a big building right in front of it. But that is basically what we want to do with our sidewalk. We want to split it up fairly evenly into these pavers. And then I would recommend adding a cross street somewhere, even if it doesn't go all the way through. You know, you can have buildings all along one side and then have another street coming kind of dead ending into here. It makes it a little more interesting, just adds a little bit more detail, a little bit more interest, a little bit more going on. And in perspective, we always like to have a lot of stuff going on, lots and lots of details. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we will be back to do some more architectural details and stuff in the next video. So thank you for joining me.